Your Excellency Lê Hoài Trung, Member of the Politburo of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Secretary of the Party Committee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam. Excellency Vũ Đại Thắng, Member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Chairman of the Hanoi People's Committee. Excellency Nguyễn Mạnh Cường, Member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Standing Deputy Secretary of the Party Committee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam. Excellencies, Ministers, Ambassadors, Heads of Delegation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to welcome you all to the closing session of today's ASEAN's Future Forum 2026. Over the past 2 days, the forum has brought together senior leaders, policymakers, experts, representatives of international organizations, the business communities, academias, ASEAN city leaders, representatives of political parties in Southeast Asia, youth delegates, and others for substantive discussions on ASEAN's future under the theme, Shaping Our Future Together, Peace, Prosperity, and People-Centered. To begin the closing session, may I respectfully invite His Excellency Nguyễn Mạnh Cường to deliver a summary report of the Roundtable on Southeast Asian political parties' role in building the ASEAN community. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
Your Excellency, Mr. Lê Hoài Trung, Member of the Politburo and Minister of Foreign Affairs, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, allow me, on behalf of the political parties' representatives, to present to this closing session the outcomes of the Roundtable on Southeast Asian political parties' role in building the ASEAN community. The Roundtable, an initiative of the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, was convened for the first time as part of the ASEAN Future Forum. It was designed as a platform for political parties across Southeast Asia to exchange views, share experiences, and contribute to ASEAN community building. The Roundtable took place in an open, candid, and constructive atmosphere, with the active participation of 11 political parties from 8 Southeast Asian countries, alongside a large number of scholars and experts across the region. Through the discussion, participants agreed that strengthening dialogue, mutual trust, and understanding among political parties is essential to reinforcing ASEAN unity, strengthening regional resilience, and advancing ASEAN centrality amid a rapidly evolving regional and global landscape. Participants also put forward practical initiatives to strengthen political trust, deepen cooperation, and support the implementation of the ASEAN Community Vision 2045. Particular emphasis was placed on the exchange of best practices in governance and public policy, as well as on fostering initiatives that can make tangible contributions to ASEAN community building. Many participants welcomed the practical value of the Roundtable and supported more regular exchange among political parties in Southeast Asia. They also expressed the hope that the Roundtable would become a regular activity, thereby providing a sustained platform for dialogue, and confidence building among political parties and scholars across the region. Today's roundtable has shown that dialogue among political parties can strengthen mutual understanding and trust, while opening new avenues for cooperation in support of a more united, resilient, and sustainable ASEAN. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Vice Minister Nguyễn Mạnh Cường. Distinguished guests, may I now respectfully invite His Excellency Vũ Đại Thắng, member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam and chairman of the Hanoi People's Committee, to deliver a summary report of the ASEAN Cities Leaders Conference on driving the future through smart, sustainable, and connected cities. Your Excellency, please.
Excellency Mr. Lê Hoài Trung, Politburo Member, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation for allocating time for us to represent the outcomes of our discussion at this closing session today. As one out of the series of the activities of the ASEAN Future Forum, the ASEAN City Leader Conference, co-hosted by Hanoi People Committee and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, concluded successfully with the participation of over 250 delegates representing 25 cities from ASEAN member states, together with the large number of scholars and experts from within and outside the region. The delegates highly value Hanoi initiative in convening the conference, regarding it as a practical platform for enhancing dialogue, connectivity, and sharing experiences among ASEAN cities at a time when the region is facing both new opportunities and challenges. At the conference, ASEAN cities shared the common view that urban centers are playing an increasingly important role in driving economic growth, fostering innovation, advancing digital transformation, promoting green development, and improving the quality of life of their people. The conference also acknowledged the common challenges facing ASEAN cities, ranging from climate change, development gaps, and the shortages of resources for green and digital transition, to emerging issues related to artificial intelligence and data security. Delegates agree that these challenges also represent opportunity for ASEAN cities to strengthen the cooperation and exchange experiences and jointly advance innovative solutions in support of the region's sustainable development. Through in-depth discussion, delegates reached consensus on two key priorities. First, technology and digital infrastructure can only realize their full potential when accompanied by modern governance capacity and desire to better serve the needs of the people. Delegates also underscored the importance of the role of the AI, data, and private sector engagement in promoting innovation and digital transformation across ASEAN cities. Second, cities should prioritize the development of green infrastructure, enhance resilience to climate change, and advance sustainable development solutions, while ensuring that people remain at the center of all mitigation, adoption, and development strategies. Notably, delegates had the opportunity to report the outcomes of the conference to the President of the National Assembly of Vietnam. The President highly commended Hanoi initiative in organizing the ASEAN City Leader Conference and recognized its significance. The President also highlighted the increasingly important role of cities in ASEAN development process and reaffirmed the support of the ASEAN Inter-Parliament Assembly in the promoting policy frameworks conductively to sustainable people-centered urban development. Delegates also expressed the desire to maintain and further strengthen mechanisms for dialogues and connectivity among Asian cities in the coming year, thereby contributing to more substantive and effective regional cooperation. The City of Hanoi reaffirmed our commitment to continuing close coordination with Asian localities and to advance practical coordination initiatives and make meaningful contributions to the building of an Asian community that is peaceful, stable, and sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency Chairman Vũ Đại Thắng. Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is now my distinct and great honor to invite Excellency Lê Hoài Trung, member of the Politburo of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Secretary of the Party Committee of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam, to deliver the closing remarks.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, after 2 intensive days of discussion, we have completed the ambitious agenda of the ASEAN Future Forum 2026. Under the theme, Shaping Our Future Together, Peace, Prosperity, People-Centered, this year's forum brought together over 1,200 participants from across the world. That is a record number. What is also important is the thoughtful and substantive interventions that have been shared with all of us. Please permit me to briefly discuss some of the salient points that may characterize this year's discussion. And in this regard, I'd like to express my high appreciation and gratitude for the 2 reports that have just been submitted by Chairman Vũ Đại Thắng and Vice Minister Nguyễn Mạnh Cường. First, the issues on the agenda truly matter to all of us, each ASEAN member as well as our partners. The 3rd ASEAN Future Forum is structured with a view to encompassing both long-term and emerging issues. What has been shown over the last 2 days is that the issues that we have carefully incorporated in the sessions are indeed what have been high on the agenda of each ASEAN member, our community as a whole, as well as in our relations with our partners. It is also heartening to note that there is also indeed synchronization between the 3rd edition of AFF and the theme of the ASEAN Chairmanship this year, as the President of the Philippines himself mentioned yesterday morning. Second, AFF 2026 has featured some novelty. This year, we have the first ever forum for leaders of cities from Southeast Asia, the first ever roundtable among political parties from ASEAN member states, as well as sessions with representatives of the youth and on the Mekong sub-region. We hope that they have helped nurture new forms of people-to-people connection that are dear to our process of building an inclusive and people-centered ASEAN community. Third, our discussions have been substantive and creative, with much to report to ASEAN leaders for their kind consideration. We have addressed a spectrum of critical issues, including the long-term ones like ASEAN's resilience and unity, conflict prevention, and adapting development models. Pressing issues are also highlighted, such as inclusive AI adoption and regional energy security. We have had the opportunities to discuss important ideas. These include moving regional manufacturing from made in ASEAN to made by ASEAN, to move up ASEAN members in the global supply chain, or the suggestion to design regional coordination on industrial policy, which is gaining traction in national strategies across the world. Speakers also mentioned the need for dynamic equilibrium, which has added meaning in the face of evolving geostrategic uncertainty. Fourth, through such discussion, our sense of community becomes more visible. The statements by our leaders, scholars, and the youth show that we all care deeply about regional peace and security and the upholding of international law as prerequisites for development. We are concerned by the three foundational crises that our General Secretary and President Tolam has analyzed. We share the need for building more guardrails against disorder. We all share the strong desire to help bring an end to conflicts in our region. We are all concerned about the risks to global and regional supply chains. The conflicts across the region affect our energy and food security. In the face of such challenges, we are determined to strengthen the central role of ASEAN in regional architecture and implement fully the ASEAN 2045 vision. Fifth, participants widely share the commitment to the future of ASEAN, its values and strategic importance. The Undersecretary General of the UN emphasized that few regions can achieve progress as fast as ASEAN over the years. Such commitment is also shown in the record number of participants, especially from the leaders of ASEAN member states, as well as participants from ASEAN dialogue partners. It is also evident in the ideas and proposals made at various sessions and roundtables within the framework of this forum. Sixth, there are converging views on the way forward for ASEAN in light of mounting challenges. Enhancing regional resilience and adaptability is high on our agenda, with distinguished speakers emphasizing the need to design our strategic environment with a long-term view, not just to react. Resilience also means deeper integration, not turning back to ASEAN joint endeavors. ASEAN's centrality in the regional architecture requires constant and more proactive action. ASEAN's centrality also depends on maintaining our role as an engine for regional growth, reforming our development models, and facilitating innovation and adoption of AI technologies in a rapid and equal manner. There is also an urgent need for ASEAN to move to stronger and more result-oriented actions, especially in implementing the various strategic plans and programs. Seventh, as organizers, we are humbled and privileged by the keen interest in this year's forum and the friendship and the cooperation that the distinguished participants, friends, partners, and colleagues have kindly reserved for us. We are heartened to see the forum of the last few years become a more and more helpful venue for all of us to join efforts to strengthen the ASEAN community as well as ASEAN relations with our important international partners beyond the region. For Vietnam, it is our sincere wish that we can join ASEAN member states and their partners to do whatever we can toward that end. Finally, I believe that many participants share with us the feeling that we end this year's ASEAN Future Forum with a good sense of optimism. Through the forum, we are once again reminded of the important achievement that made ASEAN a success story. We are also more equipped with novel, great ideas, as well as concrete suggestions for action that could help make ASEAN Future Forum a vibrant forum for ASEAN. The Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, I'm sure, will faithfully make a summary report of the forum and submit for the kind consideration at the coming ASEAN leaders and ministerial meeting. Excellencies, distinguished guests and friends, with such optimism, please allow me to formally conclude this year's ASEAN Future Forum. Once again, we would like to express our sincere appreciation for the distinguished speakers, participants, and partners. I would also like to thank the organizers, the interpreters, the liaison officers, and all technical staff whose hard work helped make the forum a success. And I look forward to seeing all of you again next year and would count on your precious and continued support so that we can join hands to help nurture an environment for peace, prosperity, and with our peoples at the center. We all know that it's never easy to say goodbye, but I think that we can feel the sense of optimism. So with that note, I'd like to formally again conclude the AFF 2026. And on behalf of the organizing committee and the host country, we wish you all and your families great success and happiness, and wish peace, development, and prosperity in our region and in the world. I thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Lê Hoài Trung, for your insightful and comprehensive closing remarks. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as the third ASEAN's Future Forum comes to an end, on behalf of the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, I would like to once again express our sincere appreciations to all the leaders, the ministers, the senior officials, the ambassadors, the representative of ASEAN member states, ASEAN partners, international organizations, business, academic institutions, ASEAN city leaders, representative of political parties across Southeast Asia, the youth representatives, for your valuable contribution to this year's ASEAN's Future Forum. I would like to once again express our gratitude to the lead speakers, the moderators, the presenters. Your contributions and guidance have been essentials for the success of our discussion. I would like to take this particular opportunity to express our gratitude to our valued partners, the government of the United Kingdom, the Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia, the Australian government and the ASEAN Australia Centre, Trung Nguyen Legend, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, Green SM, and the Embassy of Canada to Vietnam. Our appreciation also goes to, again, all the interpreters, the media representatives, the staff of Melia Hotel, for your support throughout the forum this year. Last but not least, I'd like to express my special thanks to my dear DAV colleagues who have been working very hard behind the scenes to support your presence and to make sure your stay in Hanoi is an enjoyable one. Your presence, active engagements, and unwavering support have been contributing greatly to the success of this year's forum and to our shared efforts to promote peaceful, prosperous, and people-centered ASEAN community. Distinguished guests, so this concludes this ASEAN's Future Forum of this year. Once again, thank you very much, and I wish you good health, happiness, and continued success. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible journey it has been. We have officially crossed the finish line of ASEAN Future Forum 2026 right here in Hanoi.
On behalf of the organizing committee and the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, we wish you all safe travels, good health, and continued success. As we bring this year's forum to a successful close, let us propel the spirit of unity up and forward.
Once again, this is
Ming.
and I'm V, broadcasting live from the ASEAN Future Forum 2026. Thank you for joining us.
Goodbye for now.
And see you next time at
The ASEAN Future Forum 2027.